Before we dive in, this video is for educational purposes only. I'm a peer sharing insights, not your financial advisor. Always consult a professional before making major investment decisions.
Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to completely dismantle the conventional and frankly pretty flawed wisdom around retirement account withdrawals. If you've been grinding away, saving in a 401k, an IRA, and taxable accounts, well, how you pull that money out is literally just as important as how you put it in. So let's dive right in.
Okay, I've got a serious question for you. Could following the standard run-of-the-mill advice you've been fed for decades actually be a massive tax trap, just waiting to spring the moment you finally stop working? Well, according to multiple financial researchers, the answer is a resounding yes. No joke.
Section 1. The conventional wisdom trap, a costly mistake. So most people just blindly follow this standard playbook for their withdrawals, right? The old way tells you to drain your taxable brokerage accounts first, then hit your tax-deferred accounts like your 401k, and save your tax-free Roth accounts for the absolute very end. But the new way of strategic blending, it reveals that this old method actually creates a massive hidden tax bomb.
And that bomb is what we call the tax torpedo. If you follow the old way and just let your 401k compound untouched for years, the IRS is eventually going to force you to take required minimum distributions, or RMDs. This usually starts in your early 70s. Because your account grew so large, these forced withdrawals are huge. This sudden, massive spike in ordinary income triggers the tax torpedo, meaning up to 85% of your hard-earned Social Security benefits suddenly become taxable. You thought you were being smart and saving money, but you literally just pushed yourself into a much higher tax bracket.
All right, Section 2. Building a Social Security bridge. Delay to maximize returns.
So, considering the glaring problem with letting that 401k grow unchecked, our first weapon to fight back is actually surprisingly counterintuitive. You're going to drain your 401k early. Research from the Center for Retirement Research at Boston College suggests using your 401k assets to build a Social Security bridge. By intentionally paying your living expenses out of your 401k between ages 60 and 69, you can afford to delay claiming your actual Social Security benefits until age 70.
Now, why on earth would we do this? Well, because every single year you delay claiming Social Security past your full retirement age, it yields a guaranteed permanent 8% annual increase to your benefits. Seriously, think about it. Where else in the market are you going to get a guaranteed 8% return backed by the federal government? Exactly.
To put that math into perspective, waiting to claim at age 70 instead of 67 means a 24% permanent bump. Over a life spanning to, say, age 90, this strategy can yield an additional $140,000 in raw payouts for a married couple. That is a ton of money. And honestly, that's before even factoring in the compounding annual cost of living adjustments.
Moving on to Section 3. The tax golden window. From retirement to age 70.
Let's say you retire at 60 or 62, but you delay Social Security until 70, like we just talked about. You essentially create a gap. During these gap years, you have zero taxable Social Security income coming in, which is awesome because it creates unprecedented flexibility to manipulate your adjusted gross income. You're sitting in a historically low tax bracket, making it the absolute perfect time to proactively shrink that 401k balance before those forced RMDs kick in. This steps right into an incredible strategy known as the Choose FI Roth Conversion Ladder. During this golden window, you systematically convert chunks of your traditional 401k or IRA into a Roth IRA. Yeah, you pay taxes now, but you do it at your incredibly low gap year tax brackets, like the 10 or 12% brackets. And according to IRS ordering rules, once you wait the 5-year clock on each conversion, you can withdraw those converted amounts completely penalty-free and tax-free, even if you're under age 59 and a half. You are effectively diffusing the tax torpedo years before it can even detonate.
Section 4. Blending your account withdrawals. Optimize your tax buckets.
All right, so what happens after age 70 when your RMDs and your fully maximized Social Security finally start flowing? Well, you've got to manage the brackets. Think of filling your annual tax bracket kind of like filling a bucket with water. You really don't want to overflow into the 22% or 24% tax brackets. So you fill the bottom of your bucket with your Social Security income. Then you fill the middle with distributions from your tax-deferred accounts, stopping right at the top of the 12% tax bracket line. If you still need more cash to live on, you just top it off using your tax-free Roth accounts. That way, you never spill over into a higher bracket.
Research from T. Rowe Price supports this whole equalizer approach perfectly. By actively managing your income sources year by year and blending those taxable, tax-deferred, and tax-free accounts, you keep your lifetime tax bill as absolutely low as possible. It's a real game changer.
Section 5. Beware the tax traps. Avoid common pitfalls.
Now, hold on a second. Before you go completely draining your 401k, realize that this isn't exactly a one-size-fits-all masterclass. First, you really need to watch your step for the dangerous Medicare ARMA trap. ARMA stands for Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. Basically, if you do a massive, unmanaged 401k withdrawal or a huge Roth conversion at age 65 to fund your lifestyle, you might accidentally push your income over strict federal thresholds. Because Medicare calculates premiums based on tax returns from 2 years prior, a slip-up at 65 will cause your Medicare premiums to suddenly skyrocket at age 67. We're talking thousands in unnecessary surcharges. Nobody wants that.
And there's another hidden trap here, the opportunity cost of high growth rates. As financial planner James Canole points out, if your portfolio is highly aggressive and growing at, say, nearly 9% a year, draining those assets early to delay Social Security carries a massive opportunity cost. Why? Well, because you're selling assets that are compounding at 9% just to buy an 8% Social Security increase. In his case study, blindly following the delay until 70 advice with a high-growth portfolio actually left the retiree with hundreds of thousands of dollars less in total wealth at age 95. So the math really has to make sense for your specific situation.
So to wrap up our explainer today, let's review the master plan. The conventional wisdom, it's out. Instead, you need to actively avoid the tax torpedo by managing RMDs early. Build a Social Security bridge by using your 401k to delay benefits, if the math supports it, of course. Maximize the tax golden window in your early 60s with Roth conversions. Blend your withdrawals proportionally in your 70s to stay in those low tax brackets. And finally, navigate those ARMA limits very carefully. Deploying these strategies requires some precision for sure, but successfully executing them can maximize your after-tax wealth for decades.
So take a really hard look at your own portfolio. Are your retirement buckets ready to be blended, or are you steering straight toward the tax torpedo? It might just be time to restructure, run the numbers, and take control of your hard-earned wealth. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.
Hit subscribe for more wealth-building tips.